Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing you a game today between myself and a good toss player, and it's funny, as I continue to do these game casts, I will develop a strategy and it will seem to work, and then I will get promoted to a higher league or ranking, or my MMR will go up and I'll be ranked up playing against tougher opponents. And the strategy will, what do you know, stop working. So, continually learning new strategies. And I have friends, Masters League, they help me out a lot. I'm only in Platinum at this point. So recently, they suggested to me that I do a lot of drops. I do a lot more drops, especially against protoss. I had been doing all kinds of timing pushes, and the problem with that was it was really hard for me to get into a macro game. I just feel like in a macro game with protoss, you're probably going to lose. So I was really committed to a short game. But then I hit a wall, and it just seemed like the timing pushes didn't really work. I tried to stem, timing push, ghost, timing push. Platinum players, they seem to be able to handle that stuff. I don't know exactly why or how, but in Masters League, my friends tell me that the thing that bothers them most, their Protoss players, are drops. They say they hate drops. Drops really ruin them and destroy them and give them all kinds of pain and trouble. So, let me show the production tab to see what's going on. But, so the thing that's hard about drops is, honestly, it's difficult to know where to drop. It's difficult to know how many troops to commit to a drop. It's difficult to know when to attack at the front door if you do a drop. It's difficult just intellectually. How do you know how much damage your drops are really doing? And it just feels like you don't know how much of the army you're actually picking off when you do drops. I think that's my greatest frustration is it doesn't feel like you're really beating up on the enemy when you do drops. It just feels like you're harassing, and I guess I just feel like you can't win by harassing. So I'm putting up 2 bunkers because, and I'm putting them behind supply depots. This is the first time I've ever done this, but it's because if you have a 4-gate all-in by a Protoss player, even if you put one bunker here, they can bust through that pretty easily. But if you put behind the supply depots, then the zealots cannot attack their melee attack against your bunker. So makes it kind of cool to make that an additional barrier. True, puts them a little bit out of range, but if a stalker shows up and starts trying to blast away at your one of your buildings out here, then you can just get your troops out of the bunker and attack and then fall back. So I was pushing out at the same time he was pushing out. The reason why I pushed out, because my SCV scouted that he made a stalker first, and I had one marauder will kill one stalker. So I just thought, okay, I'll just send all my troops in there just to poke and try to kill the stalker. And what do you know, I did. So big victory for me early on. 1 dead stalker, 1 marauder, only lost 40 life. And that was a good decision to pull back, because honestly I would have lost to this force, I'm pretty sure. If it was just 1 zealot, you can actually kill one zealot. I've been practicing on the custom map doing the kiting of a zealot, just because you don't get that opportunity much. But I think that's why Terrans will kite backwards. Still learning even some of this basic stuff, but usually a Terran Bioball will kite backwards from a Protoss army, and I think the reason why is because the Zealots are so strong. But if you kite backwards, then they will all get concussive shelled, and hopefully you'll be you know, pulling away from some of the more powerful units like the Stalker and Sentry, and they won't be able to force field you in, hopefully. But the Stalkers are so fast, and then but also like Void Ray or whatever. If they keep trying to attack you, you'll kill the Zealots first, and then you can attack the main army. You don't want to kite, I don't think. Stalkers, I don't think it's possible to kite a Stalker with a Marauder. They're too fast, and their range is just as long as yours is. 6 range, so I don't think it would work. Now again, it's kind of funny. Same time, but army is pushing out. So who's gonna win? It was actually really good that I was out of the base at this point, because if I was kind of stuck up on the high ground, I think it would have been more difficult. And if these Void Rays, I think he would have done a lot more damage actually had he sent one to the back of my base to do some harassment. But so honestly, this player is only a gold player. He's like a #1 gold player. But so I waited my spotty post because I thought there was still more ground troops. The bunker gives your Marines +1 range. Apparently this bunker is further back than this bunker because they're not shooting the Void Rays. So I make the decision to take down the Void Rays, not just sit back in the bunkers. So he lost. I mean, those are expensive to make. At this point, really, I felt like I was winning the game, except that all these Marines have been stemmed, and therefore they were a bit injured, though not injured as badly as you might think. It looks bad, but 45, they all still have 45 life. The problem is if you stem them again, of course, they'll go down to 35, and then they're going to be, you know, quickly killed. So he got a +1 upgrade, very nice. See, Void Rays cost 250, mineral 150 gas, that's a lot. I mean, the Stalker is only half that, less than half that. So he could have had 4 more Stalkers or those 2 Void Rays. I don't know. But I think the Void Rays were a good choice. And they did kill a Marauder. So that was 125 minerals. They killed, we had about equal army sizes in these engagements so far. So now I'm coming up here with a big Marine bush. And I did bring the already damaged Marines along. Just throwing down all these force fields. I was content to allow that to happen. One thing that I've noticed in Terran vs. Protoss is that in a lot of these battles that you have with Protoss, a lot of times they'll have 1 or 2 units almost dead if you have about equal armies. So you really want to find a way to get over that edge, whether it's focus firing or whether it's just somehow getting a couple extra troops in the battle. You know, you don't want their shields to recharge, and my friends in Masters League told me, you know, focus fire on sentries first because, you know, they'll have all this energy saved up if you don't kill them off, and their shields will come back, of course, too. But that's true with any Protoss unit. So I have a hard time doing that though, because I just want to kill those Zealots off. They're doing more damage to me, but sentries are pretty powerful. I mean, 7 damage, 1 weapon speed. I mean, my Marines here are right now at 6 damage and barely faster weapon speed, so it's pretty powerful. Of course, it's got the +1 upgrade. With the Zealot, I mean, the Zealot will just slice through your army. They do 18 damage. 18 damage every 1.2 seconds. So, at this point, he's got some observers, and he's scouting my base. If we look at his camera, and he's trying to find my army, which my army is planning to do some drops, and finally getting some medvacs out. 14-minute mark, and it was kind of late. At this point, though, I honestly figure that even though our army sizes are about equal, basically you will lose to the Protoss in the open field of battle. And I have just gotten the infantry weapons going, and at this point, splitting up the Protoss army, making him fight by running his troops in one at a time, I think is the real reason why doing drops works so well. Is because in an open battle, you know what, I would lose this fight. It's just a fact. I've fought enough to know that I will not win this battle if I fight, even though the armies are equal. I just know I would not win. So, especially if they use force fields reasonably well, you know, you might have a chance to win. You probably won't. More times than not, you won't, and you might have Colossus. So here's my plan in theory. Plan number one: if I see a robotics bay, or if I see the, what is this thing? If I see the robotics bay, I want to kill that. If I don't see it, I just want to kill the mineral line. That's my plan. I didn't see a robotics bay, so I just go for the mineral line. And so see how he marches in? He doesn't march in so they die one at a time. But he does a really good job making me kind of fight one at a time instead of him fighting one at a time. So here's why. Let me just show you why it's really what you want to avoid. And I should have pulled back, I think, because I don't think he lost hardly any troops at all in this fight. Okay, he lost a couple. Let's see. I really want to see how many troops that he lost. He lost. One, two, three, four, five. Lost 5 troops. I lost the whole force. So my army size is still equal to his about, just because I've been making more troops. But the battle, you know, it would have gone better. It went okay, I guess, but if I had hung out back further here, I could kill a couple pylons, which wouldn't be a big deal. But as he leaks in here, you know, one troop at a time, I would pick them off too. Maybe even damage some of these buildings. So anyway, now he's got me scouted, so he's following me around. And you know, in the past I have scanned a couple times with my with my orbital command to kill off any sentries, but half the time I'd say I wouldn't find them, and then you just wasted like 300 minerals. So you know, I just took a little bold move. I thought I'd poke in at the front just to see what was up there, and I saw these cannons, so I backed off. I didn't know they were there. Probably could have killed off 1 or 2 cannons before retreating, but again, I really didn't plan to attack, and fortunately he just wasn't watching. He does attack here because he warped in. I think these Templars, he thought that he had the advantage with the medvacs. He could kill them off, feedback. But he did not see. I watched this game already, and he did not see that I had loaded up half of my army into here. So I killed the pylon. Now he's down to 4 warp gates. He's got all these probes. I think he was this from the last battle? Oh, here's a bad misclick on my part. Okay, biggest mistake of the game. I clicked back here. I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to change my rally point for these troops, and I clicked here, and I did. But then so I run them away, then I run them back. A couple of them die because I was stupid, and I could have easily destroyed his main, but it was probably equally important, not more important, to take out his mineral line. And he still has these probes, but I think this is one of the, and he killed my entire expo. But the good news is I still have pretty good defense up here, and it's not going to be easy to, I did not know what that was going to be. So he storms me, so I run into my barracks, the bunker, rather. And you know what, at this point in the game, I honestly thought I was going to lose the game. But when you have 6 barracks, or 5, it's just like the same problem you have when you're attacking the Protoss base. Is that you might be able to take out his entire army, and get in this base. But there's a big difference between being in this base and winning the game. You can be in their base, and if you're popping out, let's look at the production tab again. If you're popping out 4 Marines and 2 Marauders, I mean, this force is going to get whittled down, especially with 2 bedbacks. And so I mean, some people give up at this point. Some protoss players give up if the situation was reversed. But one reason why it's easier to kill an enemy if they're in your base is because they'll be shooting buildings, and if you start, so you'll have the upper hand if you get the first couple of shots off. And meanwhile, you know, it's amazing how much damage you can do with just 2 Marines and 1 Marauder. If you fly them around a little bit, and pick them up and drop them off. I mean, they were over here, and these guys were going to kill them, so I just brought them over here where they could handle it. And they're disrupting the income, and now look at the income. I mean, the toss is down to 7 harvesters. I've got ability to call down mules, and I've got twice as many harvesters. My army's finally caught up to his and defeated it. So he's down to 0 minerals, and I'm just playing tag here with the zealots. So this is, I think, why my friends in Masters League say they hate drops. And you can drop him exactly where you want to put him. And look at this, I got the Marauder out in front. That was not intentional. But here's another Marauder with more life, and all these zealots cannot get through. So I'm picking them off one at a time as they try to get through this narrow crevice, and they're all dying. And I'm moving on to the front door. At this point, I know he's got nothing at the front door, so I know I can just waltz in there. And I don't mean to brag, but I'm so proud of myself. I just feel really good about this victory. He does feedback my medbacks to death. It was a really good decision before turning him into an Archon. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to destroy his Archon or not with the meager army I had down there. But apparently, 1 Archon is not going to hurt too bad if you have this many troops, as you will see shortly. Zealot's almost dead. But see how fast the shields are coming back? Yeah, I know, terrible micro, but I'm working on it. What can I say? So I do try to spur him out a little bit, because the Archon does splash damage. Gets off 2 shots before he dies. And now he is down to 3 harvesters and GG's. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time.